Hari Om, Chapter 8, Bhagavad Gita, Akshara Brahma Yoga, Imperishable Brahman, verses 12 and 13. Kathopanisad story. Why Kathopanisad story here? Many of you may wonder. If you go to court, any court, let us say High Court or Supreme Court, what the lawyer will do is first he will present the facts. Then he will quote authority of Supreme Court judgments. These are the authorities. He will quote Keshavananda Bharati case and say, my lord, this has been said in that case. So it has to be followed. Similarly, what I understand from the Acharyas is, Bhagavan Krishna is quoting Kathopanisad verses here. Hence, the story of Kathopanisad is very relevant here. Many of you may not be interested. Some of you may be interested. What is that story in Kathopanisad? What Kathopanisad says? So, our reading of Bhagavad Gita is not mere reading. We want to enjoy Bhagavad Gita. Every word, every sentence we want to enjoy. So, whatever is there, whatever is possible within my permissible limits of intellect, I want to give it here. That is why Kathopanisad story is relevant. And whatever has been given by Swami Vivekananda, what is said by Swami Vivekananda, I am going to give it here. Except the first few lines of the story, the balance is as it is extracted from the speeches of Swami Vivekananda. So we will see the Kathopanisad story. Before getting into that story, verses 12 and 13 again. Sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi nirudyacham murnyadayatmanah pranam astito yogadharanam omityegaksharam brahma vyagaran mamanusmaran yaprayadityajantegam sayadi paramam gadim. Now we have seen the meaning of this entire verses 12 and 13 yesterday. Now the story of Kathopanisad. Sage Vajravas wanted to make a big sacrifice by giving everything he had or he possessed. Generally, the underlying principle is whenever you donate or we donate, what we must give is the best what we have. You can't give the torn clothes, the cattle which are about to die, or the generally people do, if the rupee note is torn, then they will put it in hundi, 100 rupee, 500 rupee note. They will find it difficult to exchange it, they will put it in hundi. Or the corruption money. Suddenly, if you see in Tirupati hundi, lakhs of rupees they will put, because they cannot exchange it anywhere. So they put it in that hundi. Expiry date grocery, you give it. These are all will bring you sin. It is paba. Whatever best you have, you must give. Donate or gift. Whatever best you have. Whatever you want to have, you give it. That is the dharma. So, the Vajravas said he had a son by name Naciketas, a bright boy. The boy was seeing all this and was repenting about the father's acts. He was literally worried. Arey yaar, this man, such an intelligent sage, he was a sage. Sage Vajravas, he was a sage, but he was doing like this. So he was worried. So he went to his father and repeatedly asked him, "To whom you will give me?" Again and again and again he asked. The father got irritated. He said, "I will give you to Lord Yama, the death god." The boy died naturally, and he straight went to the home of Yamadharmaraja. Yamadharmaraja was not at home. We all know about his work and the targets which he will have. So Yamadharmaraja was not at his home. Then after 3 days he came back. Yamadharmaraja saw the young boy lying at the gates of his house. So he was moved. He said, "Oh Brahmin, you are here for 3 days without food and water. So I want to compensate this. You ask three boons, whatever you want, I will give you." That is what Yamadharmaraja said. The boy asked for the first boon. He asked, "My father's anger should subside. He must cool down and he must forgive me." The second boon, what he asked was about some sacrifice. The third boon which he asked was, when a man dies, what becomes of him? Some people say he ceases to exist. Others say he exists. Please tell me what the answer is. This is the third boon I want. Yamadharmaraja was totally surprised. He said, "Arey, Naciketas, this mystery about death is so fine and hard to learn. Ask for some other boon. Do not ask for this one. Ask for a long life, 100 years. Ask for great kingdoms. Ask for property. Ask for anything you want. Do not press me for this answer. Whatever man desires for his enjoyment, ask all that. I will fulfill it. But please do not ask this divine secret." Yamadharmaraja pleaded. Naciketas was so strong. He was not like us. He was very, very strong. He said, "No, sir. I don't want anything else. I want to know this mystery, the mystery of death." Yamadharmaraja was so pleased and fully satisfied. Normally, the Vedas or the secrets of Vedas are taught to a student only after the teacher tests him and comes to know that the student is really interested in the subject. Like Bhagavan Krishna also was not teaching Arjuna. He was always with Arjuna. But till the student was ready, Bhagavad Gita was not taught to him. Similarly, he tested and found that Naciketas is fit enough to know this knowledge. So, the first thing or preparation for learning this knowledge is that a man must desire nothing but the truth. Naciketas desired nothing. Whatever Yamadharmaraja offered, he rejected everything. He said, "Please tell me the truth." Yamadharmaraja now teaches. Hereafter, whatever I am going to say, it is as it is the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Whatever he has stated, I am going to give. Not even a single word I am changing. Everything what he has said, I am giving it. Now, O Naciketas, you have understood that the man who lives in ignorance and enjoys is not different from the brute beast. Yet there are many who, though steeped in ignorance, in the pride of their hearts, think that they are great sages and go round and round in many crooked ways, like the blind led by the blind. This truth never shines in the heart of those who are like ignorant children, deluded by a few lumps of earth. They do not understand this world nor the other world. They deny this and the other one, and thus again and again come under my control. Many have not even had the opportunity to hear about it. And many, through learning, cannot know it because the teacher must be wonderful. Similarly, the student must also be wonderful. If the speaker is a man who is not highly advanced, then even 100 times heard and 100 times taught, the truth never illumines the soul. Do not disturb your mind by vain arguments. O Naciketas, this truth only becomes effulgent in the heart which has been made pure. He who cannot be seen without the greatest difficulty, he who is hidden, he who has entered the cave of the heart of hearts, the ancient one, cannot be seen with the external eyes. Seeing him with the eyes of the soul, one gives up both pleasure and pain. He knows this secret. He who knows this secret gives up all his vain desires and attains this superfine perception and thus becomes ever blessed. Naciketas, that is the way to blessedness. He is beyond all virtue, beyond all vice, beyond all duties, beyond all non duties, beyond all existence, beyond all that is to be. He who knows this alone knows. He whom all the Vedas seek to see, whom men undergo all sorts of asceticism, I will tell you his name. It is Om. This eternal Om is the Brahman. This is the immortal one. He who knows the secret of this, whatever he desires is his. The self of man, Naciketas, about which you seek to know, is never born, never dies, without beginning, ever existing. This ancient one is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. If the slayer thinks that he can slay, and if the slain man thinks he is slain, both are mistaken. For self can neither kill, nor can it be killed. Infinitely smaller than the smallest particle, infinitely greater than the greatest existence, the Lord of all lives in the cave of the heart of every being. He who has become sinless sees him in his glory through the mercy of the same Lord. Sitting, he goes far. Lying, he goes everywhere. Who else but men of purified and subtle understanding are qualified to know the God in whom all conflicting attributes meet? Without body, yet living in the body, untouched, yet seemingly in contact, omnipresent, knowing the Atman to be such, the sage gives up all the misery. This Atman is not to be attained by the study of the Vedas, nor by the highest intellect, nor by much learning. Whom the Atman seeks, he gets the Atman, and to him he discloses his glory. He who is continuously doing evil deeds, he whose mind is not calm, he who cannot meditate, he who is always disturbed and fickle, he cannot understand and realize this Atman who has entered the cave of the heart. This body, O Naciketas, is a chariot. The organs of the senses are the horses. The mind is the reins. The intellect is the charioteer. And the soul is the rider of the chariot. When the soul joins himself with the charioteer, that is buddhi or intellect, and then through it with the mind, the reins, and through it again with the organs, that is the horses, he is said to be the enjoyer. He perceives, he works, he acts. He whose mind is not under control and who has no discrimination, his senses are not controllable, like vicious horses in the hands of a driver. But he who has discrimination, whose mind is controlled, his organs are always controllable, like good horses in the hands of a driver. He who has discrimination, whose mind is always in the way to understand truth, who is always pure, He receives the truth, attaining which there is no rebirth. This, O Nachiketas, is very difficult. The way is long and it is hard to attain. It is only those who have attained the finest perception that can see it, that can understand it. Yet, do not be frightened. Awake, be up and doing. Do not stop till you have reached the goal. For the sages say that the task is very difficult, like walking on the edge of the razor. He who is beyond the senses, beyond all touch, beyond all form, beyond all taste, the unchangeable, the infinite, beyond even intelligence, the indestructible, knowing him alone, we are safe from the jaws of death. This is the teaching of Yama to Nachiketas. This teaching of Yamadharmaraja to Naciketas is given by Swami Vivekananda. I have the entire passage has been taken from the Swami Vivekananda speech, and as it is given, not even a single word has been changed for the benefit of all of us. I thought this Kathopanisad story is important because Krishna quotes this verse in the verses 12 and 13. That is what I understand from the Acharyas. So, Om is the Brahman. We will chant Om, Om, Om. Next verse we will see tomorrow. Hari Om, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayana, 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 Narayana.